If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. We welcome you to today's show. We ask those of you who have not subscribed to please subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue to expose the satanic Illuminati agenda. Today I want to talk about another Illuminati symbol that you'll see. We've talked about the peace sign, the hand gesture, the 666. But what you have to start doing is looking at company logos, okay, because their symbols are everywhere. Almost every single company will have, a sun or a pyramid or a serpent or some logo that represents the Illuminati in their logo. It's not a random coincidence that all these companies have stars and pyramids in their logos. Okay, it's a sign of allegiance between these companies who are all brotherhood, who are all cultists, and the symbols are in plain sight. We've just always been blind to see these things because we aren't trained to think like that. We just assume that somebody in the marketing department came up with a logo, and that's why the logo is what it is, and that's not true. We can't think like that anymore. You have to start looking, knocking yourself out of an alpha state, being alert and aware. When you see a logo, dissect it. Say, what is in this logo? And you'll know where the allegiance of that company lies, because 99.9% of these companies all use the same imagery in their logos, the same pagan images. And they show their allegiance to Lucifer through these images, and their allegiance to one another. So today let's talk about the serpent, because you'll see the serpent and the snake in a lot of logos. And when I point this out to you, you're going to laugh and say, wow, I never noticed that before. Why is that there? Okay, as we know, the serpent represents the serpent from the Garden of Eden, the forbidden knowledge, and the temptation. And you'll see serpents highly used by the Illuminati in a lot of their logos and messaging. So let's start with the American Medical Association. Right here you see the snake wrapped around, right? Why would that be there? What does the American Medical Association have to do with a snake? Does it make any sense? Have you ever thought about it that way before? You might not have, but now maybe you should. We know that they create these diseases such as cancer by putting these chemicals in our food, dousing us with chemtrails filled with aluminum. Don't you find it a little interesting that the logo has a serpent on it? The American Cancer Society, another one that has to do with the medical industry, because most of these do. The American Cancer Society. Snakes wrapped around a sword. What does that have to do with cancer, you ask? I have no idea. Do you? Do snakes cure cancer? Are snakes involved in the cancer awareness movement? No, of course not, because we know what the serpent represents. They're putting their mark out there, letting you know that they're in control of all of these businesses. The emergency medical response, the ambulance, right? The logo for the ambulance, the emergency medical response. Another snake. The World Health Organization, right? The World Health Organization. You see the UN logo behind it. But the World Health Organization just added its symbol to it, the serpent. Blue Cross Blue Shield, another logo with the serpent on it. Does it make sense to have a serpent involved with all of these American medical associations? You got the Cancer Society, the American Medical Association, the Emergency Response, the World Health Organization. Then you have Blue Cross Blue Shield with the snake. What do you think it represents? Why would it be there? You think they just like snakes? That somebody in the marketing team just said, this is the way we should do it. They sat down and they said, what do you want our logo to be? Well, since we're curing people, maybe we should have like a doctor or something, or, something like that. No. Let's put snakes. Oh, I love snakes. Everyone agree we like snakes. This makes sense, right? Of course it doesn't make sense. You have to think like that. You have to think, why would it be there? Like, did they sit in a meeting and plan this out where they thought it was very normal to have a snake represent these cancer societies and medical associations? Of course not. It's not a coincidence. It's their stamp. They're putting their stamp on it. All these logos, you'll see 666, you'll see pyramids, you'll see all-seeing eyes, you'll see serpents. You also see serpents' tongues, snake tongues. NASA, look at the NASA logo, right? That's the tongue, the snake's tongue, because NASA's an Illuminati BS program. It's not real. It's a facade set up by the Illuminati. We'll get into that in great detail at some point. Superman logo, the S. See the snake in it, the serpent in it, the head wrapping down. Alfa Romeo, you got car companies, Viper. You have to think like this. This is part of the awakening process. Ask yourself this. How many times have you looked at a logo and actually dissected it? You'll see a logo, but you don't process the logo. You'll see the Starbucks logo and you'll know what Starbucks is. But do you really know what that is? Do you really know what that image is of on the Starbucks logo on the cup? I mean, have you ever really dissected it? Probably not. You might say, well, why would I? Well, if you want to awaken and you want to see what's going on, you start examining these things. You start examining logos because they put their imprint on everything. Everything. They let you know that they're running this show. They're running this organization. They control everything, every form of business. And you could see it in the logos of all these major quote-unquote brands. You can see the Illuminati satanic occult symbolism, the 666, the pyramid. You could see it in all the symbols, all the logos. So start looking for it. But don't you find it a little ridiculous that the serpent, which most Christians know what the serpent represents in the Garden of Eden, they should know. Does anybody think of a snake and think of it as a good thing? It's worldwide. It's known as a bad thing. But to the occult, it's not. See, because the snake had the forbidden knowledge. So what I want to ask anybody out there who's listening to do on the message board, look up some logos and point out the serpent. We'll start with the serpent. And then as we go forward, we'll point out the pyramid and the sun and all of these pagan, Illuminati, satanic symbols that are in logos. We'll point them out to each other because it helps in the awakening process. When you start thinking like that and you keep yourself alert, instead of just seeing a flashing logo in front of your face and think, oh, McDonald's. Well, do you know what the logo really means in McDonald's? The arches? Every single logo, every major corporation, they're all tie-ins to the occult, to the Illuminati. They're all controlled by these people. It is a tight network and a brotherhood that these people are involved in. But they'll let you know that they're doing it because they'll put it on their logos. And then if you point it out to somebody else, you're crazy for examining a logo. But if you really just sit there and dissect it and say, well, then what happened? Why does the American Medical Association have a snake? Being that a snake doesn't represent anything to do with medicine or being good, right? Or the American Cancer Society. What do you think they're trying to tell you? So again, what I'd like you guys to do, if you have time, look up some logos. See if you can find the serpent in some logos and point it out. Put it on the message board. Let's check it out. Let's help each other see more signs. Help each other wake up more. This is part of the awakening process. This pointing these things out. There's some that I wouldn't know or haven't seen that you might know of. You could point out. This is how an awakening happens. Everybody working together to point out the obvious signs so that every time you see a logo from now on, you look at it and say, oh, how interesting. A pyramid, or, ooh, more worship to the sun. More pagan symbolism. Because the only way we're going to wake up is by pointing these things out to each other and spreading the word and spreading the gospel, and staying strong in our faith with Jesus Christ. But pointing these signs out, these symbols out. Becoming more aware of where they are and what they're doing and what they have their fingerprint on, because it is everything, as you'll see, everything. So thank you for listening to today's show. I hope people out there will start researching this stuff as we continue this awakening process. God bless you all. Peace be with you.